And we're back, guys. Thank you for clicking on the channel. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Good Energy, and Coco Gauff, the future of tennis, is back, taking on McCartney Kessler from the United States. Now, listen, Kessler, she made my top 10 American list. I love what I see from her. An amazing ball striker. She's 5'9", 25 years old. She plays right-handed. Listen, we are going to break this matchup down. Now, Coco, guys, she's 9-2 on the year. Her two losses have come to some pretty tough competitors, right? We can't ignore the last time out. She had a very tough loss to Marta Kostyuk. But listen, guys, we all know Marta's an amazing competitor. She plays very fast and aggressive. She plays vertical, and she puts pressure on anyone. And her second loss, which would have been her first loss of the year, came to Paula Badosa after a 9-match win streak on the year, 11 matches in a row. She lost to Paula Badosa in the quarterfinal of the Australian Open, 7-5, 6-4. And then, of course, Doha, last tournament. Marta defeated Coco 6-2, 7-5. Now, I agree with Osaka, right? When you have that extra match, of course, the lower ranked players, they have the bye in some of these Master 1000s. And the lower ranked players, sometimes, especially when you're coming off of the Australian Open, a lot of people feel this first leg of the tour is the most grueling, right? Because you have Doha, you have Dubai, and then you have a quick turnaround for the Sunshine Double. That's 4 1,000 events with a couple 500 events sprinkled in there. That's tough. And if you factor in the travel, right, coming back to the USA, that can be tough on your body. So I can see why the ladies literally skip that 500, the Igas, the Cocos, the Sabalenkas, because they want to get rest, right? They want to make sure they get their workout in, their practice, their repetitions in. They want to make sure their cardio, their stamina's in. And you don't want to get any grueling injuries, right? We've seen Ons the last couple seasons get injuries early in the tour, right? This first leg of the tour, and it's just plagued her for the rest of the season. So I get it, but like Osaka, that extra match for the higher ranked players, it gives you that extra game, that extra set, that extra time on court where you can get a rhythm. And those players with that rhythm, it's very scary. Osaka said she likes it better, right? Not having a bye early on in these Master 1000s because she can get used to the court. And McCartney Kessler, guys, do we have a sleeper here? She's ranked 53rd on the World Tour. And those of you, look, she made my top 10 American list, but some of you guys are not familiar with her. Now, big praises last year in Cleveland. She won her first main tour title. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't have this, great junior career like a Coco. But if we take a look at that draw last year in Cleveland, where she shocked the world, ladies and gentlemen. She won her first main tour title. No one saw it coming. But I saw how well she was playing, and I'm like, look, she's going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. She took out Katrina Scott in the first round. That went 3. She took out Wong in the second round. That went 3. Arantxa Rus in the quarterfinal in straight sets. Potapova, who was just throwing a fit in the semifinal. That went 3. And Beatrice Haddad in the final. That also went 3. Now, here's the thing with Kessler McCartney. She's a good ball striker. She has really good stamina. She's mentally tough. And we saw her win her second main tour title at the Hobart International. She took out Stramkova, Rebecca in the first round in straight sets. Carly, who had a really good junior career, straight sets. Diana Yastremka in the quarterfinal in straight sets. Alina Evanesian went 3, and Elisa Mertens went 3, but she would pull off the upset as a 2-1 underdog in the final. She's got 2 main tour titles, ladies and gentlemen. She's 9-4 on the year. Now, if we take a look at some of her losses so far this year, she lost in the second round to Yulia Putintseva in straight sets. She lost to Zhang Shui at the Australian Open in the first round. Now, that was a shocker. No one saw that coming. But Zhang Shui is an amazing doubles player, one of the best doubles players of all time. When she's on her game, aside from that record losing streak on the mains tour, she's a really good player, right? She lost in Abu Dhabi to Ashlyn Kruger, another lady on my top 10 American list, but she took out Yulia Stardup-Seva in the first round of qualifiers. She made it through that draw. And we saw her lose to Ons in Doha, the best shot maker in the world, and she gave her a bagel. Here in Dubai, she finds herself in the second round after taking out Amanda Anisimova, 6-2, 6-3. Now, listen, guys, I wouldn't look too much into that win over Amanda, right? I talk about that championship hangover, nothing to do with alcohol, but just traveling to a different city, short turnaround, quick turnaround after going deep in the previous tournament, possibly fatigue, possibly some injuries, a little hindered with the schedule. You're playing on center court with the sold out arena, and then you're back on a side court with no one watching. That's tough. That can be a tough confidence booster. And the reality here is someone like Kessler, who has nothing to lose, wins that match. We saw it coming, right? What about Coco? Now, listen, guys. Coco is the most popular player on tour. She's the most popular female athlete in the world. She's the face of female athletes, right? Rightfully so. One of the best junior careers we've seen of all the ladies on tour. The best teenage career of all the ladies on tour. She's amazing. We know that. So what happens if you've never competed before? When you're playing the most popular player, the most popular team, the face of the sport, guess what? You're going to get up for that match. Literally. You're going to wake up earlier than usual. You're going to make sure you eat a bigger breakfast than usual. You're going to make sure you're more hydrated than usual. You're going to probably stretch for an extra 10 minutes than usual, right? You're going to practice for maybe 15 minutes longer than usual. You're going to do your mental yoga, your meditation longer than usual. And you're going to make sure that you're playing your best. You're going to just give an extra miles per hour on that forehand than you usually do. You're going to close out quicker than you usually do. Coco gets everyone's best because she's the face of tennis. And that's not going to be any exception for this match here with McCartney Kessler. Now, what about McCartney? I talked about the 2 titles on the main tour she's won. I think she's a good shot maker, guys. She's good between the lines. Now, that joke I made last video about her calibrating her racket to make sure she's good within the lines. Listen, guys, she doesn't make a lot of mistakes. If you're going to beat Kessler, you're going to have to overpower her. Now, the matches that I've seen against Kessler, for example, let's go back to Isla Tomljanovic. When I told you when Isla was that huge underdog, she's going to beat Kessler outright. Of course she did. She's going to struggle with the ladies that have power and that can overpower her. Whenever you have a good defensive player, their motto is normally not to overpower you, but their motto is to absorb your pace, your speed, and just kind of put the ball back on your racket to make a mistake, right? They're very patient players. Kessler is patient, but she can step up when she needs to. She can be aggressive when she needs to. On the season, guys, she's averaging just about 1 ace per match, right? Just under 2 double faults per match. She can't afford to give Coco any free points. Not at all, okay? Kessler's not the best defender, but I feel when she's on offense, her best defense is just getting balls back to win points. She wins about 33% of her return games while Coco's winning 50% of hers. Here's what concerns me with Kessler. She only wins about 67% of her service games and only about 61% of her first serves. That's not going to get it against Coco. She only wins 50% of her second serves. That's not going to get it done against Coco as well. She barely saves 1 out of 2 break points. That's not going to get it done against Coco as well. She's not the best returner, but we see her best return stats on the second serve, where she wins about 55%, but she only wins about 35% of her first return points. Listen, Coco at her best, her peak this year on the 9-match win streak, she's winning 80% of her service games. This is how I see this match plays out. Kessler is going to give her best. She's going to do her best to get balls back. But aside from the double faults, Coco Gauff's first serve is just too strong. Kessler's going to be on the back foot for a lot of these exchanges. And I don't think Kessler is going to have these long rallies that I've seen her have against lesser competition. I think Coco's going to be a lot more aggressive when she has Kessler on the back foot. And I can see Kessler failing to close out on a lot of these winners. She's going to be on the receiving end of some rockets from Coco. I think Coco wins this match. I think Coco, if we go down the checklist, serve, Coco's too strong. If we go down the checklist on forehand, I think Coco's forehand is going to stretch the court a little too much. How about backhand? I think Coco's backhand's too deep, too strong, too powerful. I think Coco's too fast, too athletic. She's a better defender. She's better at the net. She's better midcourt. Kessler's only chance in this match, she's going to have to cross her fingers and hope that Coco puts up 20 double faults and spots her 4 or 5 service games. And then she could possibly hold 65% of her service games and maybe have a chance to steal a set. But I don't even think that happens. I think Coco wins this match. I just think she's too good from A to Z. I think Kessler at 25 years old, 5 years older than Coco, her high on the world tour is ranked 47. I think she's developing as she should. She hasn't had the best junior career, but she's here. She's arrived. I know who she is. She's on my top 10 list of Americans, and that's the reason I put her over Amanda. She just beat Amanda. I know what I'm talking about. Now, I did feel leaving Amanda off of my top 10 list would motivate her to play better, and it has. But I just feel Kessler's more consistent. And the key there is she's mentally tough. I think Amanda breaks down in these tough situations. Mentally, she breaks down. Kessler doesn't. But this new Coco, playing with this better serve, better mentally, she's going to be too much for Kessler. So I like Coco to defeat Kessler McCartney. That's the pick. Now, I gave you guys the picks earlier, but let's just go down the draw. Why not, right? You're here listening to me. You could be doing anything you want. You could be anywhere in the world. But I thank you for the love and support. Now, Sabalenka taking on Veronika Kudermetova. I think that's going to be a good match, guys, right? And listen, Veronica's from Russia. Sabalenka is not. So stop labeling Sabalenka a Russian. She's Belarus, okay? She's from Belarus. And the reality here is she barely owns the head-to-head against Kudermetova 3-2. I think the first set's going to be competitive. I think Kudermetova's got an opportunity to steal this match. We're going to take the first set over 8.5. I think Kudermetova's going to hold. She's athletic. She can match Sabalenka when it comes to footwork. She has power. Kudermetova's played the best of the best the last several years. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. I remember those two playing back in the day. Really, they know each other's game very well. First set's going to be competitive. Svitolina, who I just haven't been a fan of lately. I think she has a lot of hate, but again, I can't imagine being in her shoes, so I'm not going to go there. Clara Tauson, she gets up for these matches when she wants to. Svitolina is going to make her make shots, so I'll take Svitolina to win that match. Diana Snyder against Noskova. I think Noskova's, look, she plays well. I love her game. These two, they've never played on the main tour. I think Diana's going to prevail here. I'm going to take Diana to defeat Linda Noskova. Ludmila taking on Pegula. Big game, Jessie P. Look, she owns a head-to-head 3-1, of course. Montreal, she gave Ludmila a breadstick and a bagel. She had to play 2 matches in one day. Wasn't fair. Guys, life isn't fair. And I think Pegula is going to win this match outright. I like Pegula to defeat Ludmila. I like Muhova to defeat Raducanu. I talked about Sakri. Go to the community. Tell me if Sakri is going to win a championship on the main tour again. I don't think so. Sorana Cirstea, Alicia Parks. Alicia is going to have the power edge. She's going to have the athletic edge. Sorana plays defense. She gets balls back. She plays her best tennis inside the baseline. That's going to shorten the court against AP. We're going to see if AP can hit these passing shots and win these rallies. I think the first set goes over 8.5. Belinda Bencic over Emma Navarro. I like Belinda to win that match. I think Emma's just not playing well. She's got to get her confidence back. We could take Rybakina over Uchima. I'm going to take Badosa to defeat Elisa Mertens. I do think Mertens will start fast. If Badosa's going to win, she's going to have to work on that stamina. She's going to have to. It's going to be a deep, grueling match for Badosa. But I do think Badosa can defeat Elisa Mertens, and that's my pick, Badosa over Mertens. Kenin over Marta Kasiuk. I'm going to take Kenin to win a set over Marta. Marta's a 2-1 favorite. Overall, Kenin's a better ball striker. Marta's going to push. She's going to push the pace, speed, Kenin up. And Kinnon's going to have to do her best on the back foot to defend, and I think she will. I think she'll win at least a set. I'm going to take Jasmine Paolini over Ava Liz. I'm going to take Peyton Stearns and Kinwon Jung. I think it's going to be a competitive match. I'm going to go with Queen Win to defeat Peyton Stearns. I'm going to take Marketa Vondrousova over Mira Andreeva. I just think that both lefties playing each other, the experience is going to go to Marketa. And I like Marketa's short range. I like her drop shots. I think if she can get Mira just off of her game and frustrated with the short balls, then Mira's age is going to start to show. So I like Marketa to win that match. I'm going to take Diana to win a set over Potapova. It seems like Potapova wants to get revenge here, and she possibly can. Overall, I do think that I think Diana's playing the better tennis right now, and I'm going to take Diana to win at least a set. I think she should win a set over Potapova. They're two good friends. It's a shame they can't express that with everything going on with their different countries. Hopefully that war ends soon. And I'm going to take Iga Swiatek over Victoria Azarenka. Those are the picks, guys. Enjoy. But I like Coco to defeat Kessler McCartney. I just think she's going to be too good from A to Z. And Coco's back, guys. If Coco can develop a rhythm, this could be a good tournament for Coco. She's only, 3,000 points, give or take, behind Sabalenka for the number one spot in the world. If she can put together some championships here, 2 out of these 3 Master 1000s, then Coco will be number one in the world. It's really that simple, as long as Sabalenka doesn't make the finals. I mean, if Coco can win Dubai, if she could win the Indian Wells, Coco's probably going to be number one in the world. She's got a chance to do something special here. And I think that loss, here's the thing, when Coco loses, she goes to the lab and she works hard. I've seen Coco work out so many times, guys. She really puts the work in. And a lot of people think in her free time, she's just doing TikTok videos. You're crazy, guys. She is a businesswoman. She just invested millions of dollars into the ladies' big 3. She's doing big things. Her philanthropy is unmatched, guys. And when she's not giving and helping other people, she's practicing all day long, ladies and gentlemen. So if she gets past McCartney Kessler, that's going to set up a showdown. Now, I would hope that Emma Raducanu can defeat Muhova, because we want to see Coco and Emma. That's big time. But the reality is it's probably going to be another matchup between Coco and Muhova. I know Muhova's getting sick and tired of playing Coco. Coco's going to win that match. Now, if Parks gets past Sorana Cirstea, and then that could set up a showdown with Belinda Bencic, where Parks recently beat Belinda in the championship match, then we could see Coco and Parks again. That would be huge. See you guys then. Like the video, show some love. We'll be right back.